Well, good morning. It's Saturday, and today's Splash Day. Now, originally Splash Day was supposed to be Monday, and we had this really good plan. The guys at the yard don't work on Sundays, so after they finished putting boats in today, they were going to put mine up in the transport and in the straps, and then I could paint the bottom of the keel. And I would have all day Sunday to do that, and then we would splash Monday morning. The guys in the yard would prefer to put it in today. They have a fairly light schedule to do that. They have 3 boats this morning. And so what they're going to do is they're going to put their 3 boats in, and then put my boat up in the straps, and then I could paint the bottom of the keel then, and then we'll put it in at the end of the day. The question was, would the paint dry? Well, it's supposed to be mid-90s today here in upstate New York, and I think at mid-90s it's not going to take very long for me to get a couple of coats of paint on the bottom. So that's the plan for today, which also means the car is loaded down. I have my sails, I have all my paint stuff, I have my electrical stuff because I have to rewire the bilge pump today. Probably the last of the electrical things that I have to take care of on the boat. It was working last year, I didn't worry about it, but so this year when I connected the battery just to see how, if the battery held the charge, and it held the charge beautifully actually. The bilge pump worked, but when it was on automatic, it ran the whole time, which told me either there was something wrong with the float or there was some kind of short. And looking at the wiring job, I figured I'd start there. So I cut out all the old wires and I kind of tested it, and it worked fine. So all I need to do now is bring my I didn't have electrical stuff with me yesterday, so I have it today. I wanted to get out a little earlier. It's 8 o'clock and it's already 70 degrees. Didn't make it out that early. So today what we'll try to do before we put the boat in is we'll put all the stuff that I'm bringing from home, right? The life preservers, the gas tank, the gas hose, the battens for the sails, and we'll try to get these all on board. We'll fix the bilge pump, and hopefully we could do that before 10:30, and it gives me about 2 hours, so it's a lot of work. I could bend on the sails after the boat's in the water. So not a big, huge deal, but we're getting close and it's really exciting. If you remember when I first got the boat in the first video and I put it in the water, and I kind of quoted Captain Q, right? If it floats, it gets a 10. And I'm assuming it's going to float this year, but the big difference is I did patch 2 through holes. And so my handiwork will be in question until that boat hits the water. And so I have no fear, but I'm, a little nervous because just that's the way I am. So I rewired the bilge pump, and I just wasn't happy with the way it was working. It wasn't really working consistently, and a bilge pump's the most important thing a boat has. So especially when it's at a slip, and so I decided to just buy a new bilge pump and rewire the whole bilge pump. I had to do that after we were in the water, but it was the right thing to do. Absolutely the right thing to do. All right, well, I'm back with Mr. Leatherman here. That'll allow me to strip half this wire. And this is a marine grade wire, which I thought the other one was, but one of the things. But if I showed you this wire, I don't even know what I did with it. It was all gray and black and corroded inside. I don't really want a ground issue. But, so one of the tools that you should always have on a boat, I think, is a rigging knife, especially on a sailboat. If I had a rigging knife, I wouldn't have to be going back to my car. I do have an Amazon wish list if anybody wanted to buy me a rigging knife. So, if not, I'll probably end up buying one myself. I haven't really monetized my website like a lot of these sailing channels, and quite frankly, it's pretty obvious that a lot of these sailing channels, this is what they do for their living. This is their livelihood. This is not my livelihood. This is my passion, and I think if it got to the point where I had to make money doing it, I probably wouldn't really do it. I barely know how to monetize my music. I was really behind the curve when they started streaming audio. I didn't think it would ever go. Silly me. But I'll tell you, I don't know how these people had it hooked up before. It's supposed to be a 2.5 amp fuse. They had a 15 amp fuse in there. So when I replaced the fuse, what did I put? I put a 15. What did I need? A 2.5. I'll have to get a 2.5 later today somewhere. It's not something they usually sell at Home Depot or Lowe's. You got to go to kind of a more specialty place. All right. Let's give this wire a really good inspection here. And I'm going to do a butt joint on these. I bought a whole lot of... I bought this big case. And I probably bought it off of Amazon. And it's great, except on the boat, all I need is the blue ones. And I'm already gone with the blue ones, the ones I need. So then I had to go buy specific blue ones. Not Pacific, but specific. And these are cool. These are these are the ones with the heat shrink on them. So I'll just connect these up and then heat shrink them together. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm not feeling rushed today. Yesterday I was feeling kind of rushed, and that's never a good thing when you're feeling rushed. I'm going to use some heat shrink tube as well on top. Alright, and somewhere here I have a heat gun. Be good to get the heat gun stuff out of the way as soon as possible, I'll tell you that much. So the bilge pump worked like a charm. New bilge pump, new switch, new wires. What could go wrong? The only thing that could go wrong is if I did something wrong and I double checked and triple checked and everything's working good. So there was only 2 more projects that I wanted to do before our shakedown sale. The first one was to install a fair lead on a port side stanchion so the jib sheet would not get hung up on the nav light. Previously, when I got the boat, the nav light was almost ripped out of its off the deck because that jib sheet kept grabbing on it. So installing that fair lead was an important thing. The second thing I want to do is secure the hatch. One of the earlier episodes, I showed you how the hatch was being weighted down by a swim ladder. So we repaired these teak pieces, these tie downs, and then we'll use bungee to tie it into the boat. So those cleats were already there. And here we go, we got them on both sides. There we go. And it's a little loose, but it's not going to go anywhere.